so much power. Moving your body, you displace someone else. You know, you have so much power, even if you're not even really thinking about anything. And then the second one is creative power. This is me plus my ideas. There are a few people in the world that really just live here all the time. We call them dreamers. They have ideas after idea after idea after idea, and they never do anything with any of them. You know, it's one thing to just exist and cry when you're hungry or whatever. It's another thing to have ideas. This takes you to a whole other level of power. You actually have ideas, and you can change things. The next one is productive power. Me plus my ideas plus action equals productivity. We owned a restaurant, M&K Takeouts in Warroad. We owned that for 14 years, and I managed that restaurant. And I did all through the years, I did all the training myself to hold the standard to one standard. And I got a kick out of, you get these, we love to hire 14-year-olds and train them up. They'd often stay with us through college breaks until they, you know, got married and actually moved away or something. And even some of the married ones would come back and fill in it when we had an emergency or whatever, just for fun. And you'd bring this 14-year-old in, depending on who their mom was, of course, and they wouldn't know how to do anything. They couldn't do dishes, they didn't know how to sweep. And I would say, you know, I would just say, okay, now go sweep that area back there. And some of them would literally grab a broom and just stand there and go like this. It's like they were taking action, but not much was happening. You know, I mean, it's like action, productive power is better than no productive power, right? But when you focus that productive power on an idea, on a goal, you're actually going to make some changes, right? Things are going to change when you take productive action. The next one is universal power. This is me plus ideas plus action plus passion. We're adding passion here. So as you think of a, let's say a pumpkin seed. Okay, a pumpkin seed goes into the ground and vibrates at the exact level of a pumpkin seed. And that pumpkin seed draws to it the nutrients, the worm action, whatever it needs to grow into a pumpkin. Now, a corn kernel goes into the ground and it doesn't vibrate like a pumpkin. It vibrates like a corn kernel. And as it vibrates, it draws what it needs and it becomes a corn stalk and grows some corn. You are body electric. You're actually vibrating. Right now, you are electric. If I took a brick and I put it up against the live wire, nothing would happen. But if I took you and put you up against the live wire, something really big would happen because you are body electric. You are actually vibrating, and you're either vibrating in tune with God, the way He created you, or you're vibrating at a different level. How many of you know that when you get angry, sometimes you literally shake? Have you experienced that? If you're mad enough, you shake. How about sad enough? You shake, right? You are body electric. And in your power zone, the power zone God has built in that's you, when you take yourself and you have a God-given idea and you add action, God-directed action to it, and you get excited about it because you're confident. We sang it today. Speak the truth to me. Who am I in you? When we get excited about that and we stop saying, why did you make me like this? Or how could you ever ask me to do something like that? And we get excited about it because we trust the God who's asking, the God who made. Then all of a sudden things are at a whole different level. And at that level, ladies, you are actually drawing to you everything you need to accomplish what God wants you to do. It was just funny, within the last couple of weeks, God called me to raise more money for missions, and this was like, oh man, I hate that, you know, I don't like to ask people for money, I don't like that, and God put in my heart, and I said, could you just help me with it, because I'm really struggling here. How many of you just like to beg? How many of you like to beg? I mean, that's how it felt to me, really, honestly, you know, asking for money, please, will you give me money? And so I said, can you just show me a picture, just give me a picture of what it could look like in a good way for me to have money come to me that I need now for this next project. And it was really funny because I prayed about it a couple days later. It came to me that I get to be Marnie, the money maestro. You know what a maestro does? It has a huge orchestra here, and it's like, okay, now you play the piccolos, you play the big drums, you know, like that. And I get to just trust him that as the money is supposed to come, it does. Little did I know that this weekend you would have a book table out there, and instead of somebody collecting money for me, you're all just throwing money at me all weekend. People are coming up to me, here's 10, here's 20. It's like, really? This is how this feels, this is kind of fun. I told Sue this morning, and she gave me a gift. I said, oh, this is so fun, I just love just getting. It changed because my perception of it changed. How many of you love to give to missions? I love to give to missions. That's one of my most fun things, is to give money to other missions. So why did I have this picture of begging in my head? Where did that come from? Jesus? I don't think so. I think I just had to let that get healed, right? And when we get excited, then things start to change. But you know that level 4, this level here, you don't even have to believe that there is a God. And because he created you, you vibrate. You can do all of this without him. But then it won't go into heaven, of course. It's what we do with him. It's what he does through us. That's what gets past that fire into heaven. All right, so the 5th level. This is what I am here to call you to today. God has been calling you to this your whole life. To put him at the beginning of the equation. God plus me, ideas, action, and passion equals eternal power. This is what gets to go into heaven with us. What Jesus does through us. All right. I'm going to look up for just a second, go through our 4 R's. Recognize, release, receive, respond, pray without ceasing. We just, every time we have an emotion, we go up for air through prayer. Say that with me. Go up for air through prayer. Again. Go up for air through prayer. You are a dolphin. You are just needing a breath. That emotion you're feeling, you just need some air. That's really all it is. Feels like so much more, but that's really all it is. And I want to, I'm going to invite you to go home with me, and me go home with you in a moment, but I want to give you one more analogy. I love the analogy of the helicopter pilot. So if you think about the helicopter pilot, he's high enough up above your circumstances on the freeway, like in Minneapolis or a big city. He's high enough that he can give you advance warning of an accident that's coming up there. So if you're tuned in, he would say on the radio, there's a pileup at 494 and Penn Avenue. You need to get off at France and go around or whatever it is. He'd give you instructions how to best do that, how to best maneuver that, so you didn't get stuck for an hour sitting there waiting for the cleanup. And this is what God is actually asking us to do. When we have a worry or something's coming up and we don't know, or we don't even know there's a problem coming, God already knows. He is outside of time and space. And the reason I say that is because he took John in Revelation to see the end of time. Therefore, God must be able to see the end of time if he already took John there. So he's completely up above. We're down here. When I say the Lord's Prayer, every morning before I open my eyes, I say, "Good morning, Daddy. I'm so glad that you're up in heaven above all of this stuff that I have to deal with today. Because you have perfect perspective. You have perfect power. And you can help me make my way through this day." So the helicopter pilot is what you want to keep in mind when you are praying. And it goes against what I call the bad dad syndrome. So bad dad syndrome, my favorite soapbox thing here is don't pray for patience, because then God is going to Oh, he is gonna, yeah, you're gonna get clobbered. Look out, bad boy. He's like, I'm just waiting for you to pray for patience. That is a bad dad syndrome, you guys. That's not who God is. God is the helicopter pilot. He's like, there's an accident ahead of you on the road. You're going to be delayed for 2 hours. You're going to miss your plane. And right now you need to pray for patience. That's dad. He just sees it. He sees it and he calls it like it is. And if you're in constant communion with him, you can tune in soon enough to get it off and take the detour around. Still going to take some patience, but not as much as if you weren't talking. He so longs for you to have a lovely life. The roller coaster he has you on looks like that right side. But he wants to ride it with you. He wants to flow through you to all the people you'll meet on that windy road that would never otherwise have known Jesus as he flows through you any other way. There's a purpose that you're in a long line, waiting outside an airport bathroom, in a hospital room. There's a purpose for you being all those places because you are him. He's flowing through you. He wants to. And so just be ready. Be ready any moment. Be ready. Pray without ceasing. I'm going to ask you to pray for me and my gals while you brush your teeth. I work with women all over the world. I'll share a little bit more with you about this tomorrow, but my heart is to grow them up in the same way that I'm helping you grow up in your faith. It's called Courage and Clarity Coaching that I do. And if you think of the story of Samson, when the angel came, he got really clear about what he was supposed to do, but he had no courage, right? So he had to do some fleece, and that was okay with God. Never see that God, reprimanded him for that at all. He even later had to go and, listen to a dream. If God didn't want him to do that, if God was upset with him, why would he have let him hear that? Why would he have wet the fleece? He wanted him to have the courage to do what he called him to do. But if you have courage, he had clarity, he needed courage. If you have courage, but no clarity, then you're just running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. And what I find is a lot of leadership gals who are working in ministries where the people under them are so impoverished and so broken that there is no one to help support them, and they don't have anybody to support them. That's often who I mentor, is women like that. And it's not always that, but most of what I do is that. And so if you would pray for me and my gals while you brush your teeth, I would love that. And the reason, I don't know the reason why brush your teeth. That's just what God told me to ask for years ago, to raise an army of women who would pray for me as they brush their teeth. And I was a little put out about that. I was like, really, God? I'm supposed to say that publicly? You know what he brought to my heart? Did you want me to do it when they flush the toilet? They pray for it. Brushing teeth is great. We'll go with that. One of the things I do in my program is I have 21-day wins where we adopt a new habit like brushing teeth or like releasing or like receiving or something like that. We just pick a habit for 21 days. We hold each other accountable in a grace-based group. And that's available to anybody as part of my mentorship program at Marnie.com. Right at the top, you'll see 3 free resources that are available right now. There's no cost to these, and I always have a ton of free stuff available at my site. So if you go there, you'll find that. Also, I'd love to connect with you socially. At the bottom of any page at Marnie.com, you'll find my social links, and wherever you hang out, just reach out. I'd love to friend or connect with you there. And then also, if you want to mark your calendars, July 14th is our next summit coming up. This, again, is free, and it's all on YouTube, and you can watch it live, or you can watch it anytime after. You can share it. We have gals all over the country who, with their women's ministry group, they don't watch it live, but they get it afterwards, and then they have an interpreter, so they take a little space, they pause, they have the interpreter. They're doing this all over the world, so it's so fun to be able to continue to serve women here in the United States as well as around the world. And I just long to keep in connection with you as we leave from this place. One more time as I go to the piano to sing our closing song. Recognize, release, receive, respond. And if you guys want to stand with me, we'll sing Flow Through Me. Oh, you got it. I hear it out there. Sounds good.